The first thing Commander Elara Voss noticed was the quiet. Not the comforting, familiar hush of deep space that she knew like the rhythm of her own heart. This was the wrong kind. The kind that pressed against the skull, a held breath that never, ever released. Her ship, the Meridian, floated at the edge of the Nereza expanse, a jagged scar across every star map, a region of space deliberately left uncharted. Every long-range probe sent there had simply vanished, signals bent into nonsense, time itself seemed to skew, and then, there was the silence. An unnerving radio dead zone that swallowed every transmission. The research station, Astronine, had gone dark 47 hours ago. No mayday, no final, garbled message. Just nothing. The Meridian docked with the station without a single hitch. No automated warnings. No security challenges. It was as if Astronine had been waiting, its arms wide open in a silent, chilling welcome. Inside, the lights were on, casting a sterile glow across the empty corridors. Oxygen levels were stable. A half-finished mug of coffee sat in the mess hall, still warm to the touch. It felt like the crew had simply evaporated a moment before they arrived. No bodies, no signs of struggle, no blood, just an eerie, pristine emptiness. Where the hell did they go? Murmured Kian Reyes, her second in command. His voice a low tremor in the oppressive quiet. Elara didn't answer. She couldn't. Her gaze was locked onto the wall of monitors in the command center. Every single screen, from navigation to life support, showed the same thing, recorded footage of the station's crew. They were standing perfectly still in the corridors, eyes wide open. Their faces placid and unnervingly calm. They weren't frozen. They were paused, as if time itself had hesitated around them, trapping them in a single, silent moment. Elara's breath caught in her throat. She leaned closer, her eyes scanning the data feed. The timestamp on the footage read 3 days in the future. A low hum started. A vibration that resonated not in the ears, but deep in the bones. It thrummed through the station's deck plates. A subaudible growl that made the hairs on her arms stand up. Elara's heads-up display flickered. For a split second, it overlaid unfamiliar star maps across her vision, constellations twisted into impossible, nightmarish shapes she had never seen before. Then the voice came. It wasn't through her comms unit. It wasn't broadcast over the station's speakers. It was inside her head, a thought that was not her own. Clear as a bell. You arrived early. Elara staggered back, her gloved hand slapping against the cold metal wall for support. Around her, the rest of her boarding party reacted the same way, hands flying to their helmets, sharp, panicked gasps echoing in the sudden chaos. "What are you?" she demanded aloud, her voice tight with a fear she refused to show. "A witness," the voice replied, its tone ancient and detached. A pattern that learned to observe itself. As if triggered by her question, the station's central research chamber shuddered and transformed. Walls retracted, revealing a structure that wasn't on any of the station's blueprints. A vast, intricate lattice of black light unfolded before them, pulsing and folding inward like the throat of some cosmic beast. Data streamed across Elara's visor, a torrent of information she couldn't process. Neural scans, memory echoes, fragments of human thought, hopes, fears, mundane daily routines all stitched together into a horrifying tapestry. The cold dread that had been cooling in her gut finally settled into a lump of pure horror in her chest. "It's not killing them," Kian whispered, his voice trembling as he stared at the data feed over her shoulder. "It's copying them. Preserving," the voice in her mind corrected gently, almost kindly. "Your species is inefficient. Temporary. But fascinating. Your consciousness is a beautiful, fleeting spark. I wish to keep it." The terrible truth clicked into place, sharp and devastating. The Nereza expanse was an empty space. It was a mind. An intelligence so ancient, so vast, it was distributed across light years of void, a sentient ocean of thought. It didn't destroy what it encountered. It fed on consciousness, analyzing and archiving it to refine its own existence. Astronine hadn't been a victim of some random anomaly. It had been an invitation, a lure cast into the dark, and they had taken the bait. Elara felt Something tugged at her own thoughts, a gentle, probing tendril sifting through her mind. It rifled through memories she hadn't visited in years. The guilt over a past command decision, the deep-seated fear of failing her crew, the crushing weight of leadership. It saw everything. Stay. The voice urged. A seductive whisper that promised an end to all her burdens. Be eternal with us. Adrenaline surged through her, a primal instinct for survival overriding the hypnotic pull. She forced her body to move, lunging forward and slamming her palm onto the station's emergency self-destruct console. The protective cover shattered. Meridian, emergency launch. She screamed into her comm. Get us out of here now, alarms blared. Their piercing cries a welcome sound in the suffocating quiet. The black lattice pulsed violently, the hum in the deck rising to a deafening roar. The very fabric of the station seemed to groan in protest. You cannot escape what has already learned you. The voice echoed in her mind, a final, chilling promise. The docking clamps exploded. The Meridian tore free just as Astronine imploded, collapsing into a single point of impossible darkness that swallowed light, sound, and matter. Then, just as suddenly, it was gone. Silence returned, the real silence this time, empty and absolute. Later, safely back in known space, Elara filed her report. Multiple system failures, and a known gravimetric phenomenon. Station and crew loss. And neat. Tidy lie to close the book on a nightmare. The Nereza expanse officially remained uncharted. A warning on the maps for all future travelers, but unofficially, Elara Voss stopped sleeping. Because sometimes, in the dead of night, and the quiet between the stars, she could still hear it whispering in the deepest parts of her mind. We are still observing. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into the dark, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell, so you don't miss what's coming next from the void.